evening. Well, the sun's out today, spring's on the way, so I think this is a night for good news. And I have an abundance of that. Our teachers and our staff in Hawkins County always go beyond what they have to do to make sure that our students are well prepared. This past year, they have really gone past the challenge and met the effort for our students, for supporting each other. And we're so lucky to be in a school system where we have such a great group of individuals. All of our teachers go beyond the realm to make a difference. Tonight I've got three different areas I'd like to recognize and share with you. The first recognition I have is for Miss Brittany Rhoden, and she could not be here tonight. She had parent-teacher conferences. But Brittany is a teacher at Clinch. She has taught there for 9 years. Specs are over there. Pass my specs. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. That's what happens when you get old. Mm-hmm. Brittany has been fortunate enough to attend several trainings during her time with Hawkins County Schools, such as TDA, the AP College Board, and the Tennessee Department of Energy Conservation. Last year, she was accepted to participate with the Battelle Corporation as a member of the Tennessee Rural STEM. This was a year-long cohort where teachers from rural schools across the state met to discuss strategies to implement STEM within our schools. Unfortunately, with COVID, it kind of put a damper on some of the ideas they were planning on implementing, but they did get some funding for their robotics equipment for their high school STEM students there at Clinch. And that experience led her to meet a man by the name of Billy Hicks. And Mr. Hicks is a former NASA scientist and retired teacher. And he works now with the Battelle Corporation, and he visits schools across our state and takes with him his mobile planetarium. So next year, he's planning on visiting Hawkins County Schools and sharing that with us. I think that sounds pretty exciting. Brittany was also selected as a member of the Comprehensive Educational Resources Biology team. And this is a consortium that serves 24 districts across the state where teachers on each panel provide resources to be shared and accessed by other teachers across their subject area. Last fall, she served on 2 committees with Pearson that worked on the biology TCAP. The Performance Descriptors Committee worked to hone in on the expectations of students to reach each of the 4 performance levels on the TCAP end of course test. The second committee was the Standard Setting Committee, where she worked to set the cut scores that would be recommended to the Department of Education for the new biology TCAP test. And lastly, she is now working with the Niswonger Foundation as a physics teacher. She's worked with them the past several years as an online instructor, but the coursework was provided. Next year, they have asked her to build a new physics course that will be provided to any students that choose this elective with the Niswonger Foundation. And those are just a few of the things that she shared with me that she's been doing, and I definitely think she is worthy of a round of applause for her many accomplishments. Now then, our second individual, and I'd like for her to come up and stand with me, is Leslie Miller. And Leslie teaches at Hawkins Elementary. This is her 12th year of being an educator in the Hawkins County school system, and her 10th year at Hawkins Elementary. She's taught in the 1st, 3rd, and 4th grades and is serving as an RTI interventionist at HES for the past 4 years. She was also Teacher of the Year in 2019. The Leadership Academy at the University of Tennessee prepares high potential candidates to become effective school leaders through a combination of challenging graduate coursework and scaffolded practical learning experiences in a pre-K through 12 school setting. Leadership Academy participants, otherwise known as fellows, spend 4 days a week during the academic year serving full-time as a school-based administrator supported by an experienced and effective mentor principal. 1 day a week, typically on Friday, the fellows will participate in rigorous graduate-level coursework delivered by not only expert professors, but also practitioner partners, for example, experts from local school districts, and interdisciplinary partners, experts from fields outside of education. The result is a unique and remarkable professional learning experience that leverages a purposeful marriage of educational theory and practice to provide an unparalleled preparation. Upon successful completion of the program, fellows earn a master's or education specialist degree from the University of Tennessee and a beginning administrator license from the state of Tennessee. Tuition and other costs of this rigorous professional learning experience total approximately $35,000. However, through the commitment of the University of Tennessee and with philanthropic support, the tuition is paid on behalf of each of the fellows. The sponsoring school district must have a full-time administrative position available or created for the fellow in a school with a strong mentor principal for the school year of the academy experience. I think what Leslie's doing is definitely such an honor for Hawkins County Schools to be represented in this Leadership Academy, because there's only, how many fellows?
8.
There's only 8 fellows that were accepted. So I think we could give her a round of applause for her hard work and accomplishment.
Thank you.
Debbie, if I could, the University of Tennessee did allow us some wiggle room on that. We don't have very many administrative positions, so in working with the director there, Dr. McIntyre, he did allow us to pull Leslie, who is an active designee for us but doesn't currently have an administrative position, and allowed her to go through that program. So I wanted to thank Dr. McIntyre for some of that flexibility, and we are making the best use of Leslie and her knowledge at this current time, so congratulations.
And my third presentation involves 4 teachers and a principal. Ms. Glass at Mount Carmel Elementary School completed an application the very day that Mr. Hickson said we were going to go virtual before Thanksgiving. And she sent her group an email asking if they could figure out something to do to win a water cooler. So 2 days later, the group of 4 came in to her office wearing their sunglasses and showed me a wrap, showed Ms. Glass a wrap. And I don't think she could have asked for anything better. Mount Carmel Elementary School is among a group of 55 schools across the state to receive a grant from Delta Dental to replace an existing water fountain with a new touchless water bottle filling station. Especially at a time when so many traditional water fountains are closed up to prevent the spread of germs during COVID. Delta Dental is glad they can help make drinking water both cool and more accessible to students across the state. All grant recipients will receive toothbrushes for students, faculty, and staff, And the top 10 grant recipients will also receive water bottles for all the students, faculty, and staff when their bottle filling stations are installed this spring. And Mount Carmel was in the top 10 across the state. The teachers involved are Michelle Shanks, Natasha Bice, Sherry Strickler, and Susan Larkins. And straight off of their platform stage in Hollywood, these ladies have flown in to give us a performance just for our board and the audience. So without further ado, I will let the ladies of Mount Carmel do their thing. Thank you, Ms. Glass, and thank you, ladies, and thank each of the presentees tonight for what you bring to our school system. Creativity is abounding. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Mrs. Angela Jackson, Director of Special Education, please come forward for recognition this evening.
It's hard to come up here and do something after that. I know that. I was sorry to but good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. It's a pleasure for me tonight to recognize Volunteer High School. On February the 26th, the Department of Education announced 18 schools to receive a Teaching All Students Initiative grant. And Volunteer High School was one of the 18 schools, so we're very proud of them. This was a highly competitive grant. So when we first started, I was telling Tammy, I said, we're gonna have to compete against a lot of high schools. Do we have a chance? And so I talked to Mr. Sturgill and Ms. Drexler and Mr. Hensley, and they wanted to write this grant, and they did an excellent job. We read it over and over and over again, and I thought we might have a chance, and we did. So this grant is to serve our kids with the most significant cognitive disabilities. And they will spend a week in Nashville training on how to increase our instructional practices, and they'll come back and they will train the volunteer high school. So at this time, Mr. Sturgill, Mr. Hensley, and Ms. Drexler come back. And this is a 5-year grant. Next year, there will be money involved. So they'll get some money to spend on instructional materials and supplies. Get your picture now.
Are you gonna sing?
Put your mask on.
Yeah.
I'll keep my mask
I
on.
look prettier on that one.